Good morning, and we are live. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee this morning. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot to talk about. So let's just dive right in. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Just to start you off with a smile. I tell you, Ukraine's not taking it. We've got tons to talk about. The Iranian deal apparently is off again. There's just so much happening. Again, let's just dive right into it. But I do want to start you off with a smile. This is Moscow. This is Gazprom's refinery in Moscow that is I am telling you, it is. I shouldn't be happy about this. I mean, war is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. But if you've been following what's been going on in Ukraine, Putin is a sorry son of a bitch. He really is. He is a sorry son of a bitch. He every time he gets in trouble, he takes it out on civilians. He takes it out on, look. This is Russia. The results of Russia attacking a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Peshklavra. It's a monastery in Kiev. You'll recognize it the second you see it. It is one of the iconic things that you always see in Kiev. But yeah, Russia thought it was fair game to attack. It has no military worth. It is not. This was just Putin being a fucking dickhead. Yeah. So yeah, the Ukrainians. I'm sorry, but you have just got to love it. They are not taking this shit anymore. They are not. They have had enough. Like I said, they have spent the last year just wearing down Russia's air defenses, just grinding it down, utilizing their ability to manufacture drones. I told you, Ukraine was the pearl of the Soviet Union. It was not Moscow. It was not Russia. It was not St. Petersburg. It was Ukraine. And these people have just shown incredible resilience, incredible resourcefulness, and they are manufacturing drones in the middle of a war at ungodly levels. They are, and they have put them to work. They have just been grinding on Russia's air defenses, and they have worn them down to the point where they are Russia is totally screwed. This is Gazprom's largest refinery. It provides 50% of the diesel and 40% of the gasoline for the Moscow region, Moscow Oblast. Here's what it looked like. Just one more time. Yeah, that is the lid off an orange storable storage depot. One more time. Let's get this at another angle. Yeah, you got to love this, folks. I mean, you have just got to love this. Um, you want to hear the funniest part about this? Russia's response to this is they are absolutely livid about the fact that people are saying that a Ukrainian drone did this. No, they very much want you to know that that was not a Ukrainian drone that caused that particular explosion. No, it, it was one of their own air defense missiles that went off track when they were trying to defend themselves from the drone attack that did damage all over Moscow. I've got some footage for you. The sun is still not shining through in Moscow this morning. You're not. I mean, you're not going to believe what that city looks like right now. But yeah, they very much want the world to know that they punched themselves in the face right there. Like that matters. If you see somebody taking an ass whooping and they throw a punch and hit themselves in the face, does that like not count towards the ass whooping? Oh my God. They are literally, and I shit you not, they are livid that people on social media are saying that that was done by a Ukrainian drone. They want the entire world to know that they blew that shit up themselves. Oh my God. But yeah, this is what the skies in Moscow look like today because of all of the oil that has been burned and saturated the clouds, and it's just there's no sun. There's no sun in Moscow today. It is literally raining oil. Raining oil. Whew. I am telling you. Yeah. The people in Moscow who have been pretty much well insulated from this disaster are entering the find out phase. They are. They are entering the find out phase. And I couldn't be happier about it. I couldn't. I know I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be. War is terrible. It is terrible. It is. Is this all of Russia? Of course not. Of course not. But it is Putin. And, just like we own what Trump does in the global community, they own what Putin does. So, yeah, uh, kudos to the Ukrainians. Well done. Well, let's not drag it out. Let's get into it. If you were following the last show, we were talking about the deal in with Iran. And folks, I just want to be honest with this, just straightforward with this. We have to have this deal. We do. We are 3 weeks away from the global economy not grinding to a halt because of inflation or grinding to a halt because you know, anything in the business environment or anything like that. No, it is going to be forcibly ground to a halt. Yes, is there oil flowing throughout the world? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Are we completely out of oil? No, we're not. But we are in a deficit. And everybody is burning through their reserves, trying to pretend everything's still okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's going to be fine. 3 weeks, that pretend game is over. Factories shut down. Ships stop running. Flights get canceled. The economy forcibly begins to shut down. We have to have this deal. We do. It was a stupid fucking war. It was idiotic, dumb. But you know what? We've got to take this deal. Is it a shit deal? Yep. That's what you get when you do stupid shit. When you do stupid shit, and as dumbass Trump says, you don't have the cards, in this case, which we do not have the cards. You eat the shit burger. That's what happens. That's what happens. And the Republicans are in full freak out mode. They know this looks bad. Everything they're trying to spend, all of their paid social media people, all of their talking heads on the news, no one can spend this so that people don't say, what the fuck? Yeah, it's yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's exactly what this is, folks. That's exactly what this is. And like I said, the Republicans are in full freak out mode because they haven't been able to spin what this deal is. There is no spin on it. It is what it is. Just to recap from the last show, if you're new and you weren't here for the last show, first of all, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Let's keep this growing. Let's keep it in the algorithm. Let's keep things moving. But the key takeaways from the deal is Iran gives up nothing that they didn't already want to give up. They get the security that they want. They give up their enrichment facilities that aren't functioning. They don't want to have to rebuild them. They don't want a nuclear weapon. We've said that over and over again. They don't want a nuclear weapon. They are expensive. They're expensive to maintain. They're useless weapons. You can't use them. They're a pain in the ass. They don't want that. They want security. They got it from this deal in the form of $300 billion in corporate investment. Now, after this deal is implemented, if Israel attacks Iran, they're attacking our infrastructure. Because as we talked about in the last show, Iran is sitting in the second and third largest oil and gas reserves in the world, and they are mostly undeveloped. Because Iran going into and this is the important part, folks. Before this idiocy, and Netanyahu is an idiot. He is an idiot. He is a psychopath. He is a freak. I've got something. Kudos, shout out to Tennessee Holler for catching this. This is one that was going under my radar. This is something that Itamar Ben Veer had said. We'll get to it here in just a second. I don't want to lose track of this. Before this happened, this is where Iran was. A violent revolution had started in their country. Why? Their economy was done. It was toast. They were in hyperinflation. Their currency was worthless going into this. Their people were in full freak out mode, and they'd had enough of the mullahs and the whole religious government. They were done. They wanted to go back to government. They wanted straight up capitalism. And they weren't getting it. And in the middle of that, their leader was a 86, somebody fact check me. He was 86 years old, had metastasized cancer, and had maybe weeks to live. Maybe weeks to live. There's a guy on YouTube. His name's Roy Casagrande. He's a historian. You really should follow him. He goes into greater detail in this than I'm going to talk about. But yeah, this is the shape Iran was in. And it was completely factionalized. Each group in their government was supporting someone else. To remember, Iran had a thing about no monarchies. So it was not going to be Mustafa Khomeini that was going to take the reins of power. The far more radicalized son of the current leader. No, they didn't do that whole lineage thing, that whole monarchy thing in Iran. They were like, no, you change leaders, change families, you change. So yeah, they were factionalized. Each group had their own person they wanted to be the next leader. Then two of the dumbest motherfuckers to ever walk this earth, Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, were in trouble. So they decided to attack Iran. Netanyahu wanted to grab a bunch of land from Lebanon, and he's delusional, so he had no idea how badly this was going to go. And Trump, well, Trump hasn't been in his right mind for a long time. He hasn't. There's, I'm not going to plug their book. There's a new book coming out from two people that I think that are sorry. So I'm not going to plug their book, but they did have access to the White House. And the one thing that book points out clearly is Trump is just fucking delusional. So Iran went from in revolution, in financial crisis, looking at collapse, with a leader that is weak and dying. And we changed it all. That revolution is over. The entire world is lining up to do business with Iran. That $300 billion, a lot of people are confused about that. They think that's coming out of our treasury. I have people saying, can't Congress stop this? No, not what. Well, look, it's no, yes, but no is the answer to that. Let me explain. I've had that question come a lot. Can't Congress stop this? Just put aside that Congress is run by, all three branches are run by Republicans, and the Republicans don't want to. Put that aside. Could Congress do something about this? Not really, because the $300 billion is in investment. What they could do is they could pass a veto-proof law sanctioning Iran, making that illegal. But then that would blow up this deal that we all desperately need. So no. So no, yes, no. It's corporate money. They're dying to get in. They're dying to get in and do business with Iran. They don't give a shit about Iran's track record. They don't give a shit about the people of Iran. They don't give a shit about us. We're going to talk about Peter Thiel and his global cabal, the dialogue group. They were talking, all the right wingers could talk about was the deep state, the deep state, the deep state. Well, we found them. We found them. Those people, those type of people, they don't give a shit about you and me. They don't give a shit about the people in Iran. They're going to make some money. That's what they're going to do. That's what they were going to do. But the deal looks bad. And it's election time. And the Republicans don't care about anything but power. And they can't beat this narrative. It's coming at them from all sides. And it's the worst nightmare for Netanyahu and Israel. It is their worst nightmare. It is, because Iran was on the verge of collapse, is now going to be rolling in cash. Maybe if the deal goes through, talks have been canceled. You know, they were supposed to get together in Switzerland and have a nice talk. That's over. That's over. Did you hear how Trump ended up signing this memorandum of understanding? Did you hear about that? How Macron pulled that off? We showed you at the G7 how confused he was, and you know, just yeah, Macron suckered him into Versailles by telling him there's a lot of gold in there. You got to take a look at it. It's very pretty. Yeah, you like gold. You like Rococo. You like gold, don't you? You like, and that's how he got Trump in there. And then they put an agreement in front of Trump that wasn't in English. And that dumb motherfucker signed it. I'm not even kidding. It wasn't an English version of the deal where they could review it. He had no clue what he was signing. Every aspect of this is just coming back to bite them in the ass. 1 second. Just in case you think I'm kidding or wrong or have my facts screwed up. Oh, no. Feel free to check any news source out there. Trump signs MOU with Iran, ending war while at Versailles with Macron. One second. One second. You know what? Just take my word for it. It was in fucking Farsi. So, anyways, that's the Cliff Notes of it. Why we're here, and why we have to eat this shit burger. But folks, Israel's not going to go gently into that good night. They're psychopaths. They are. They are psychopaths. I just saw somebody made a comment about a rip on the art of the deal. Yeah, the I got to tell you, the political satirists are tearing. This is Nick Anderson. They are all over this. They are all over this, and that's what has Trump in a panic. That's what Trump has Trump in a panic. They've lost control of the narrative. The Republicans are pissed off. Everybody is telling them, you got to eat this shit burger. It is what it is. The big money in the room is screaming at them, do this deal. Do it, and do it now. Because not only does it avert an impending crisis, that, like I said, folks, 3 weeks, that's all we got, 3 weeks. But they're going to make a lot of money off of this. Iran is going to be rolling. But just in case you think that I'm being hyperbolic about Netanyahu and Itamar Ben-Gvir, Ben-Gvir, that psychopath, is the national security minister for Israel. Kudos to Tennessee Holler for catching this. He put this out on X. He said this himself. I'm going to read this to you. For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn. With all due respect to the Americans, Israel must make it clear to the entire world that the blood of our sons and the security of our citizens are not forfeit. All of Lebanon must burn. Our supreme duty is to protect the citizens of Israel and the soldiers of the IDF, and this commitment takes precedence over every other consideration. I told the Prime Minister, even in our private meetings, for every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. Enough with ping pong in the Middle East. You don't win with measured responses and restraint. You need to go berserk, to obliterate, to crush the terror. That man's a fucking psychopath. He is. He is a fucking psychopath. And he's telling you, he doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about the world. He doesn't give a shit about the global economy. He doesn't give a shit. It's Israel first all the time. Fuck all of y'all. He's telling you to your face. And right now, Republicans are really scrambling, trying to figure out how to bend over and grab their ankles to appease Israel. When the entire global economy, I'm talking everywhere, Asia, Europe, here, South America, Central America, Southeast Asia, Africa, it all begins to grind to a halt in 3 weeks. And that is the security minister from Israel. Still think I'm being hyperbolic? So this is the result, because the Iranians, rightfully so, said, hey, you know that deal you signed in Farsi in Versailles? Yeah. Part of that deal was you put a leash on fucking Israel. They stopped their attacks. That didn't happen. They have doubled their attacks in Lebanon. What the hell are you doing? The deal is not a deal if you don't do your end of it. I don't know. That makes sense to me. If I may, if I enter into an agreement with you, our agreement is that I be informed. Our agreement is that I be here prepared to talk with you. And your agreement is that you be here, that you help Democrats get elected, that you help spread the message. That's your end of the deal. You're doing that. And I show up wearing a wife beater. Hey, y'all, what's going on? I don't know. I ain't read anything today. Y'all tell me what's going on. Scratch my balls. You know, are you going to say, what the hell, man? You're not holding up your end of the deal. Of course you are. And you should. You know, you have seen I am not a fan of Iran. They are, I do not like religious governments. I don't care if they're Muslim. I don't care if they're Christian. I don't care who they are. I do not like theocracies. I do not. I do not. Yeah, Greg, if we're if we're going to monetize this thing and we're going to make a living off of it, the ads are going to come. That's YouTube, man. I'm sorry about that, brother. It's just, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. When you reach a certain point, you're going to get ads. I'm sorry about that, brother, but that's YouTube. They're the ones that provide the platform that we're on, and weirdly, they want to make a living doing it. So, you know, that's it. That's it. Oh, damn, I hope your coffee's good this morning. Woo! Mine is keeping me rolling. But yeah, two things of note have happened. One, JD Vance is firmly under the bus. There are two factions in the Republican Party that are thinking, oh, JD Vance is the future. Those are the ones that are funded by the oligarchs like Peter Thiel, who has been JD Vance's sugar daddy the entire time. Peter Thiel bought JD Vance his Senate seat in Ohio. He did. That faction is saying, well, wait a minute, you can't do that. And then the other faction in the Republican Party is, look, we need somebody to go under the bus. JD Vance negotiated this. This is dragging Daddy Trump down, and Daddy Trump goes down, we all go down. So fuck JD Vance. And yeah, that there is hell in the Republican caucus this morning. They are not knowing whether to scratch their watch or wind their ass. They are running 10 different directions. Half of them are out, one faction of them is coming out saying, greatest deal ever, better than Obama's deal, trying to spin this shit in some sort of non-reality fantasy land. And then another faction is like, this deal sucks, and we're not responsible for it. It's his fault. JD Vance failed Donald Trump. And then you've got the other faction out there that, Peter Thiel and them, like who's moved his family to Afghanistan to Argentina, and, to his big bunker compound in Argentina. And they're like, fuck it, we don't know what to do at this point. This is just a shit show. Apparently, everything that we ever wanted to do is a disaster, and we just didn't know better. No, they didn't ever say that to themselves. They didn't. They don't have that kind of self-evaluation. They don't. But as of right now, the talks are off. But the sugar daddies have told Vance, you have got to fix this with Trump. He is making you the target. You have got to fix this. So how do you fix it with Trump? You've seen it over and over and over again. How do you get Trump to not throw you under the bus? You kiss his ass. I don't mean the right side. I don't mean the left side. I mean right in the middle.
And it's interesting that so many people, if you give Donald Trump an IQ test with the other 45, 46 presidents that the United States has had, I guarantee he'd be either near the top or at the top. And it's interesting that so many people, like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what JD Vance is doing. He's out there trying to, I mean, he is licking that taint so damn hard today. He is, Donald Trump, when he farts, it smells like roses and baking cookies all rolled into one. It is masterful. No one has ever passed gas as beautifully as Donald Trump. When Donald Trump has a bad idea, it is better than the best idea that any other human has ever had on the face of the. I love Donald Trump so much. I mean, yeah, he is really sucking it. He is sucking it today, trying desperately to crawl out from underneath that bus because Republicans have really identified for them, Donald, you could throw him under the bus and we got somebody to blame that's not you. And then we can keep the cult going. And, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see. I gotta love Kevin Cruz. This is another guy you need to be following on Blue Sky, on Threads. He's really good. He's really good. He nails it. This was his comment on that video. Absolutely, this two kinds of people talk about IQ scores like they are meaningful. Very dumb people and very racist people, and they're usually both. Yeah, yeah. But I tell you, folks, JD Vance can, lick that taint all he wants, but everybody knows Trump is just gone. Trump is just gone. He really is. I want to tell you about Major Nicholas Dockery for a second. Stick with me. Going to take a hard turn here. This is Tagab, Afghanistan. It's on the border, near the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. They say it's a village, but you can take a look at it. I mean, I want you to imagine your platoon is in Tagab, right here in the middle of it. And all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. I mean, all hell breaks loose. See these hills here? You're getting artillery rained on you. There is rocket fire. There is fighters coming out of the woodwork. You're fighting alley to alley, street to street. That was what Major Nicholas Dockery and his platoon were facing for 4 hours in Tagab. And people were dying, people were wounded, and Major Dockery was beyond brave. I mean, he took a rocket blast, hit his position. He and 2 other soldiers were in cover, and they took a rocket blast in his position. He was knocked to the ground. He was vomiting, losing consciousness. The 2 soldiers, what kept him clinging to consciousness was the 2 soldiers that were with him were gone. He couldn't find them. So he got himself to his feet. One of the soldiers was blasted into an alley and was wounded. When Major Dockery got sight of him, foreign Afghani fighters, Taliban fighters were running down the alley to drag him away. And in that condition, with a dislocated shoulder, he jumped into that alley and he killed them and drug his man to safety. And despite being wounded, he stayed on the ground until his men were evac'd out. That's what American soldiers do. That's the kind of bravery that we celebrate. That's the kind of bravery that will earn you a Medal of Honor. Unfortunately, Major Dockery had to put up with this. A doddering old fool that is so confused. And I've got to tell you, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. They're not difficult. They aren't. It's just snaps. That's it. It's just the class. It's just a clasp is all it is. It's just snaps. It is too much for our doddering old president to manage anymore. Fumbling with it, fumbling with it. Ah, fuck it. I'll just tie it into a knot. I shit you not. He tied it into a knot. I mean, after damn near strangling the guy, he tied it into a knot. You see the snaps? These are not, they're just snaps. That's it. He can't make snaps work. He's that gone. He is that gone. He's walking around talking about himself like he's Genghis Khan. It's one of the things that have come out about that book that I am not going to tell you the title of. I'm not going to tell you the authors. I'm not going to tell you fuck all about it, other than, our president is walking around talking about himself as though he is Genghis Khan. Yeah. ET, happy Juneteenth, everybody. Absolutely. If you don't know, Juneteenth is celebrating the end of slavery here in the United States. It is a national holiday. The stock markets are closed. Everything is closed. It is one of those human milestones that we should celebrate. I mean, can you think of anything better to celebrate? Hey, this is where we're going to mark that we stop being complete shit human beings and owning other human beings. We evolved. It took a bloody war to do it, but we evolved. Juneteenth celebrates when the last slaves were finally free. And I can't think of anything better to celebrate, to be honest with you. Started treating people like they were, it was the beginning of the road to treating people like they're human. Not that I'm claiming that we have made it there yet, because we haven't. We haven't. Michael Antonsu, thank you for gifting the memberships. Thank you. Marshall Cash, fucking Netanyahu strikes again. Yep. Peter Campbell, thank you. Appreciate it. And folks, I'm just going to say it again. We have to have this deal. I don't give a shit what Itamar Ben-Gvir or Netanyahu thinks that they're going to be able to achieve here. The rest of the world will move on without us. In 3 weeks, you will see other navies helping ships run through our blockade. Countries that were formerly allies will be actively working against us in that arena in 3 weeks. I'm telling you, folks, fuck Netanyahu. It doesn't matter what he wants. He's a stupid, dumb bastard, and nobody should have ever listened to him in the first place. Peter Campbell, thank you for gifting the memberships, brother. Thank you. Jeremy Breeden, happy June 19th, all. Remember the importance of the day, but remember we still have work to do on equality in this country. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. And I don't care if you're talking about, I know it's Juneteenth, so we're talking about slavery, we're talking about black folks, but, our LGBTQIA plus community too, we don't treat them as equals either. Hispanic folks, look at what's going on with ICE in the Hispanic community. No, we got a lot of work to do in this country. A lot of work to do in this country. ET, did you see the pop top oil tank? Yeah, I did. We played it here. Thank you for the comment, brother. Love the dog catching the fly frisbee shaped oil tank meme. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, thanks for reminding me. If you haven't seen it, people have been having a blast with this. There are all kinds of. You really got to go to social media and look this up. You really do. Just Google Moscow refinery or Moscow refinery funny meme or Moscow refinery meme. Just do that search on any platform that you like, whether it's Blue Sky or Threads or whatever. They've got, yeah, they are everywhere. They are everywhere. There's some of them are hilarious. Christopher Daly, happy Juneteenth. Michael Antonsu, happy Juneteenth. ET, they have raining oil in Moscow. Mr. Knutson, being happy about the flying saucer in Russia is not bad. I guess Russia is finding out. Let's hope for longer gas lines. Let's hope that they did a lot of damage to that refinery, because that is the kind of thing that will end this war and end it abruptly if the people in Moscow actually, they've got this culture of sacrificing for the military, but they've had enough. I mean, it's been 4 years, people. They have had enough. Some pain in Moscow would be a good thing. Khan, Russia has 11 nuclear power plants with 32 nuclear reactors. Ukraine can easily destroy the cooling towers on all 11 nuclear power plants. Zelensky has had enough of Putin's war crimes. Ukraine is sick and tired of Russia. Ukraine will not stoop to that level. They will not. I'll give you a perfect example. Thanks for that. I didn't pull this up for the show. I'll pull it up really quick. 1 second. One second. One second. I want you to see this. And I haven't watched the video yet, so I'm hoping that it shows it. This is Andrew Tate in Russia. The human trafficker, the guy that was arrested in Romania, that the Trump regime absolutely loves. Yeah, he's in Russia. Riding around in tanks. Let me kill that music just in case. I don't want to end up with a violation. Yeah, that's really happening right now. So people were, and I'm going somewhere with this, people were pointing this out to the Ukrainians saying, hey, can you geolocate this target? There you go, right there. Target that guy. And Ukraine responded with being a dick doesn't make you a legitimate military target. They really said that, folks. I swear to God, they really said that. Being a dick and being a shit human being doesn't make you a legitimate military target. So, no, we will not be blowing up Andrew Tate. These are not the same. You know, Ukraine and Russia are not the same. Putin is shit. Putin is soft, soppy dog shit that you accidentally step in at night because your dog is sick. That's I'm talking, you got to get the carpet cleaner out, and he is the lowest of the low. Ukraine is not that. They just aren't. Shifty Lincoln, Art of the Kneel. Yep. Angie May, 100 bucks, says Donald called off to offer Putin humanitarian aid. But did you hear the G7? Did I talk about that? Did I cover that? The G7, they got Trump to sign on to a pro-Ukrainian declaration there. Yeah, he was supposed to be at the G7 to walk in. I'm the boss, and they were supposed to be selling Russia, and ended up signing. They kowtowed him to sign a pro-Ukrainian declaration. Mr. Knutson, thank you for gifting the membership. Jenny Black, fuckery, no facts. Not me. I know what you're talking about, though. E.T., and they got to dog walk the great Satan. Yep. Shifty Lincoln, unlike the JCPOA, where the $1.7 billion had restrictions and was controlled by a foreign bank, this deal puts $25 billion directly in control of Iran through their central bank. This is wild. Yeah, they were going to, just to remind everybody, we talked about it in the last show, the deal that Trump signed in Farsi, the Iranians get half of that $25 billion up front, then another half after 60 days of negotiations, when they've made progress on handing over the uranium that we're going to end up paying to clean up because it's a fucking disaster. I guarantee you, if this deal goes through, that's how this will happen. Iran will say, "Oh, this is a mess. Y'all were so tough. Y'all did a lot of damage. We don't have the means to clean this up. Will you come pick this uranium up for us, and we will pay to clean those sites up that we bombed? We will. You watch. You watch. That's how it's going to happen. That's going to happen." Mr. Knutson, glad to see you, my friend. Our Norwegian people in the house. Iran will profit endless from this deal and will be the dominant regional power in a few years. Let's see how BB will undermine it. Yep. That's exactly what this deal does. Scots, Republicans are yelling now. Democrats, go get some much needed fishing in while Republicans do their job for them. Axel Sudley, thank you for supporting the show. Cannot do it without you. I can't. Your donations here, the mugs that I sell, that's it. That's how I fund all of this. All the subscriptions, the equipment, the camera, the everything, the new fancy schmancy Sony camera we're using. You notice you can see everything now. All of that you pay for. And I am grateful. Chandra Patton, Republicans blaming Obama and Biden running real thin. Yeah, it is. How are you going to blame Biden for this one? E.T., when the Mad King's staff are having secret meetings without him behind his back, that is not good. Thing is, most of them will be there until 29. You know what? They're having them, even when he's there, they're having the meetings without him. He is freaking delusional. He is gone. He is demented. Glenn Kaneko, thank you for gifting the membership. There are free memberships for you to snap up. There are, folks. And I know some people are having some difficulty doing that. If you're here watching the show, you can hit and you're not a member and you want the membership. Down there, there's a join button. You hit the subscribe button while you're down there. Hit the thumbs up button while you're down there. If you are not set up in YouTube to receive gifts, not give them, receive gifts. That's a setting. You've got to allow that to happen. Then you can take one of the free ones. Martha Stiegel just got an alert that Kash Patel was fired. What? Yeah, there was another. Yeah, Yeah. Remember we talked about in the last show, Jamie Raskin, there was another big blow up where he's just been paying off all these right wingers to be on his advisory council. That is going to blow up on top of everything else. I guess they got ahead of it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I don't have any. I don't have anything from any. Yeah, I don't have anything yet. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. Let me know when it comes out. It'll be a breaking news story. I wouldn't be surprised though that there's going to be another huge scandal with him. Let's double check it. I got nothing. I got nothing. Doesn't mean it's not happening, but I got nothing. We'll see. ET, we need someone to design a dog walked mug. Gone. When Trump dies of old age, you think that 30% of them of the USA and the Trump cult will drink Jim Jones Kool-Aid or chase the Hale-Bopp comet? I don't know. The Trump cult maniacs will all self-destruct. They are going to, big portion of them are just going to look for somebody else to follow. They are their self-identity is completely wrapped up in this, but a lot of them, a big faction of them, are just going to go back to not giving a shit about politics. That's where they're going to go. Dottie Farias, thank you. Paul, how do you think Trump can stop Netanyahu? Ignore him is what will have to happen. Is what will have to happen. He will turn Europe loose on Israel's look. Itamar Ben-Gvir can run his mouth all he wants, but Israel's economy is guns and fintech. That's it. That's it. They are not a diverse economy. They are not. And these, especially Europe, starts cracking down on these online banking systems and all of this technology that banking technology that Israel is developing. Yeah, that's like 70% of their GDP. And I mean, overnight, Netanyahu will fold. He will. Overnight. He's done. He's done. He's going to do everything he can to try to keep a boogeyman, try to keep Israel at war, try to keep Israel fighting, because they can't. What good is Benjamin Netanyahu if there is not war? What good is Itamar Ben-Gvir if there is not war? They are both pariahs in the world. Yeah, they're fucked. They are. But it is going to take the broligarchs to finally say, look, go sit down. We'll take care of you before it's finally taken. But Donald Trump can't do shit. He can't. Gin up the base. I just don't get it. How could our strategic oil reserve be depleted since Trump made us energy independent plus Trump's drill baby drill? Weird, because oil is a global commodity. It doesn't matter if we still have oil in the reserves. Remember, it takes, not one oil specific, not heavy crude or light crude. Or remember, they blend this stuff together to get it to the right gravity to run through these refineries. You've got to have the right amounts of each kind of oil. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that we had all the oil we need here. If they're still out of oil there, Matt Randolph, Mr. Global 2, made an excellent point of this. Do you know how much oil the United States produces? Wild guess. Do you know how much oil the United States produces? Zero. None. We are not like Saudi Arabia. We are not like Iran. We are not like Venezuela. We are not like, no. Corporations drill and produce tons of oil here, but we don't. And unlike all those other countries, we don't get the taste like other countries do. Not like other countries do. We don't. So yeah, if we're rolling in oil here, we're not rolling in oil. The corporations are. And if they're short over there and willing to pay more than we are, they're going to sell that oil over there. So yeah, the shortages are global. It doesn't matter if you have enough where you are. It's going to go away. It just is. I mean, I hope I answered your question there. Kate Maryland, I pay $8.99 a month to avoid 90% of all commercials. Smart. Mr. Knutson, kudos to Trump for throwing JD under the bus. Amen. I hate JD Vance. I do not want that. He is fully owned by the Broligarchs. No, somebody else, man. Not JD. Under construction for now. Good morning from East Tennessee. Friday is music lesson day. We'll be back this evening. Awesome. Saturday's music lesson day for me. Weird Idaho Liberal. Have to catch you later. And remember, to the trolls that may be around, got a snake problem? Call Animal Control, not RFK. You crack me up, dude. You crack me up. You really do. Mr. Knutson, the Iran war has shown that greater than 861 U.S. bases are bullseyes and a liability to the hosting nation if the USA don't adopt to the new reality of cheap drones and flying lawnmowers. Change is needed. Yeah, change has been foisted upon us. Monica Meadows, I just saw something from a More Perfect Union showing a huge conference filled with corporate realtors already trying to sell developments in Gaza. So disgusting. Yeah, absolutely. Sherry Ellison, we have not gotten to where we treat all people as equal human beings. No, we have not. We have so much work left to do in this country. Diane Pritchard, $20. Love you. $20. Love your show from Portland, Texas. Thank you for supporting the show. I am truly grateful. Thank you. Lori Dex, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there who are blessed to have children. Happy Juneteenth. Amen. I've got some good. Stick with us, folks. I got some good news for the end of the show. I really do. Diane Pritchard. $20. Love your show from Portland. There you go, Diane. I appreciate you. Supporting the show. Katie Dotson, did you see the Russian missile hit its own oil tank? Yeah, we played videos of it. It's freaking hilarious. And they're really, really vehemently wanting to make that point. Ukraine didn't blow our shit up. We did. Like that makes a difference, man. You were responding to their attack. Yeah. Just because you punched yourself in the face in that ass kicking contest doesn't mean you didn't just take an ass kicking. Mike Daly, the Dim. Hey, brother, joining late at work. Happy Juneteenth. By my calculation, America is paying $1,000 for a war we lost. What the fuck? Yep. Every American. That's your bill so far. $1,000 for every American man, woman, and child. Mr. Knutson. Good to see you, brother. Ukraine is too nice. Anyone disagree? Saving Tate. Decency is. Yeah, I'll never bitch about decency. I never will. Crafty Ass Gardner gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, brother. They're there. Snap them up, people. Mary Higgins. Thank you for supporting the show. A couple more. We're going to get right back to work. We got a whole lot more to talk about. E.T. messaging people when they talk about how he lowered gas prices. We hit him back with, and he got dog walked by Iran. Are you ready to get involved? When we do the work, it gets done. Amen, brother. Just a couple more and we're going to get back to work. Bluebird, I arrived late today, but the last 15 minutes are already worth listening to. Great work, Texas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. William G. Atheist, good to see you, sir. Can I say this? Someone is bombing the Middle East and Canada is shipping 3.1 million tons of high protein wheat. No, we are not the same. Which reminds me, one of our friends of our show, Tony, is a farmer up in Minnesota, and man, I tell you what, he has some good news. His son, I keep this on my desk, right here on my desk. His son has a degenerative spine disease. This stuff's like $150,000 a vial, and I keep it on my desk just to remind me of the work that we have to do and why we do this. You know how fucked up our medical. Well, his son is volunteering for a local political campaign. He is. He's out there. If he can get out there, Cole, hats off to you, my man. Hats off to you. Ooh, that's some crazy hair. If Cole can get out there and do the work, you can get out there and do the work. He is having the time of his life. He's been phone banking. I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you. The farm comment reminded me of Tony and what was going on with him and his family. Yeah, man. I've got some good news for you. This last wheat crop was shit. Tony is telling me this next wheat crop is looking really good. So yeah, we may be all right at the grocery store in about 6 months or so. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, way to go, Cole. Salute, sir. Victor Harshman. White House officials believe Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan obtained audio recordings from inside the Situation Room. Get the popcorn out. I will not be plugging that book. ET, it is less than 20 weeks until the general election. Verify your voter registration and deadline dates. Know your early voting dates. Get involved. Look, it's not that I'm not glad. Victor, thank you for pointing this out. It's not that I'm glad that they got the information, and it's not that I'm not glad that people are dissecting this book and people are seeing all the horrific shit, like Donald Trump walking around comparing himself to Genghis fucking Khan. Yeah, the craziness, the inside. But these two, Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, have been some of the sorriest sons of bitches when it comes to licking Trump's taint and putting his message out. And now I'm supposed to plug their book? Fuck that noise, man. Fuck that noise. Where were you when we needed you to report it straight so this psychopath didn't end up back in the fucking White House? Fuck you in your book. That's the way I feel about it. Yeah, folks, thanks for hanging in there through the comments and stuff. I know that, hey, great comments. But we got to get back to work. If you haven't heard, they found the deep state. They did. Peter Thiel has been running a super secret Broligarch group. And they get together and let me pull this down for a second. They get together and they plan your life. That's what they do. They plan your life. Thank you, honey. Appreciate you. They plan your life. They get together and they decide. They put the people that are going to be regulated in the same damn room with the people that are going to be doing the regulation. They buy them all steaks and Merlot. They fly them to fancy hotels and different places. The next one's going to be in August, is going to be outside in this exclusive area outside Dublin. They put them in the room together and they let them hash out the deal. And do you know who's not in the room? Do you know who's not represented in the room? Do you know who's not a member of the super secret billionaire Broligarchs dialogue club? You are not. Got some fresh coffee, but I ain't wasting that. This is some good coffee, man. This is some good coffee. Thank you again, Nancy. His group, they rate people by wealth, of course. You know, it's money. How the Peter Thiel Link Dialogue Club secretly ranks its members. Yeah, money and power. Duh, money and power. And if you are a new person that is starting to shine and garner some support and look like you might go somewhere politically, they'll bring you into the group to let you pretend like you're part of the group, but you're not part of the group. You're just you're just there to be influenced and controlled. That's it. That's it. They have been super secretive about who is in this group. I want you to forgive me, but I'm about to read you about 100 names and who they are. Stick with me. It's important that you hear this. These are the people that are getting together and they are planning your life. And the Republicans are all in. I'm talking Ted Cruz is in, you know, I'm talking, yeah, they are all in. But these are the people we're talking about. Ahmad Akun, founder and CEO of Mercury. Turkey Al Faisal Al Saud, founder, King Faisal Foundation, former minister I forget what he's a minister of in Saudi Arabia. Rima Al Saud, ambassador to Saudi Arabia from Saudi Arabia to the U.S. John Arnold, co-chair, Arnold Ventures, former founder, Centaurus advisor. Susan Athey, professor, Stanford Graduate School of Business. These are all getting together in Peter Thiel's super secret oligarch group to make all the decisions before, you know, then after this, they'll piss their money all over the government to make all the shit they want to have happen. Susan Athley, professor, Stanford Graduate School of Business, former chief economist, antitrust division, U.S. Department of Justice. Hey, man, when they go and they say, oh, yeah, we're right. Look at this person with alphabet behind their name. They say we're right. Yeah, well, you've got to have them in the group, too. Peter Attia, physician, Attia Medical, author, Outlive, Scott Belsky, partner, A24 Films, former chief strategy officer and chief product officer at Adobe, founder of Behance, Nicholas Berggruen, founder and president of Berggruen Holdings. Yeah, what would it be without the vulture capitalists, right? Preet Bharara, former U.S. attorney, New York Southern District. You didn't think some of our people wouldn't be in the room, did you? Of course. Elizabeth Blackburn, former president, Salk Institute of Biomedical Studies, Nobel Prize winner. Sarah Bond, president of Xbox, Microsoft. Cory Booker, senator, New Jersey. Rachel Brand, chief legal officer and corporate secretary, Walmart, former associate attorney general, U.S. Department of Justice. Scooter Braun, CEO, Hybe America Foundation, Ithaca Holdings. Pete Briger, as I'm going to go with, principal and chairman of the board, Fortress Investment Group. You got to have your vulture capitalists. You just do. Greg Brockman, co-founder and president of OpenAI, former CTO, Stripe. Manuel Bronstein, chief product officer, Roblox. You know that game your kids play? Peter Brown, CEO of Renaissance Technologies. Lucinda Brown Duckett, president and CEO of TIAA. Yeah, folks, this was hacked. That's how they got this. There's a hacker hacked into their website to get their membership list. Yeah. Mike Cannon Brooks, co-founders, co-CEO of Atlassian. Cesar Carvalho, co-founder, CEO of WellHub. Wences Casares, founder and former CEO of Zappo Bank, founder of Wanaco Games, Banco Lemon Wallet. Julian Castro, former secretary, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Bob Cialdini, author, influence. But wait, there's more. That's just to the C's. That's just to the C's. Ted Cruz, U.S. Senator. Matt Kohler, former general partner at Benchmark. Scott Cook, co-founder and chairman of Intuit. Tyler Cohen, professor of economics and director of Mercatus Center, George Mason University, that bastion of right-wing bullshit. Adam D'Angelo, co-founder and CEO of Quora, former CTO at Facebook. Mitch Daniels, former governor, state of Indiana, former president, Purdue University. Dan Driscoll, secretary of the U.S. Army. Charles Duhigg, author, The Power of Habit Supercommunicator. Steve Ellis, founder and former CEO of Chipotle. Tim, are you getting the idea? Are you getting the idea? It's the corporate leaders from every fucking sector. Put in the same room with a couple movers and shakers, a couple people with influence within the government. Send them out for nice trips. Of course, Elon Musk would, Novartis, the Vas Narasimhan, the CEO of Novartis, the pharmaceutical company. Of course, Grover Norquist, president of Americans for Tax Reform. What would it be without Grover Norquist being there? CEO of Bridgewater Associates, vice president of Kernel and Blueprint. Ezra Klein. Ezra Klein is in the group. Yeah, Ezra Klein. Everybody's like, what the hell happened to Ezra Klein? I wonder what happened to Ezra Klein. Jason Kwan, chief strategy officer at OpenAI. Oh, Leonard Leo, of course, co-chairman and former executive vice president at the Federalist Society. Of course, Leonard Leo. Neil Mohan, CEO of YouTube, the platform we are using right now, is in the group. Is in Peter Thiel's super secret Berligar group. 1 second. Stick with me. Stick with me. It doesn't end there. Yeah. It doesn't end there. It just goes on and on and on and on. Jared Polis, governor of the state of Colorado. He did some weird shit lately. I am calling ours out intentionally. Astro Teller, captain of Moonshots X. Peter Thiel, co-founder, of course, Peter Thiel. Nick Thompson, CEO of The Atlantic. How many times have we relied on The Atlantic for their journalism? John Townsend, author, Boundaries. Tom Tugendhat, member of Parliament, United Kingdom. Tim Urban, writer and illustrator. Rick Warren. Oh, what would it be without Saddleback Church, Rick Warren? Strauss Zelnick, chairman and CEO of Take-Two Interactive Software. And Siobhan Zealous, director of Neuralink. Are you getting the idea? They get together. Now, this is the membership list that got hacked. And the way it works is people in this group host dinners at their home and invite members of this group, depending on their rankings. Then they have a big get together every year, kind of like their version of Davos, but super secret. This has been going on for years, folks. For years. You know who is not represented in that room? You. And you see, they're from the media. You see, they're from the restaurant industry. You see, they're from the service industry, the banking industry. All of them are getting together to carve up our government. That is why we do this. Yes, there were Democrats in there. There were. But this is more than just being a Democrat. This is keeping your values. This is not giving up on fighting for what you believe in. That's what this is about. It doesn't mean that we hand power over to the Republicans, which have made it so obvious. They're not even pretending anymore. They're openly saying, we're going to take your shit away. No Medicare for you. No, we're going to cut your Social Security. We're going to cut your Medicaid. They're not even fucking pretending. The only party worth saving is the Democratic Party. It is. It is. It's the only party that has factions in it that actually believe that their first goal should be to make sure you're okay. Because if you're okay, Johnny Gotrocks is going to do great. I mean, let's be realistic about it. You're not going to be a billionaire. I'm not going to be a billionaire. The best we can hope for is to live our life intelligently and get to the point where we've got this gray hair and we're comfortable. That's the best we can hope for. And to have a government that actually wants us to be fucking K. Not a government made up of Republicans who now, again, just a reminder, control 3 branches of government that don't give a shit if you're okay. They don't. They don't care in the slightest at all if you're okay. Not in the slightest. All they want to do is the Broly Clark's bidding. So yeah, I'm trying to buy a little credibility here. I never promised you fucking perfect. I didn't. The Democrats aren't perfect. You saw some names on that list are people that you're like, hey, wait a minute, that fucker's on our side. I never promised you that you could do this one time and we'd be done. It's okay. Oh, the Democrats have taken one branch of government. It'll be fine now. No, I've never promised you that. It's never ending. The work we're doing here is never ending. We're going to have to keep fighting and pulling left and pulling left and pulling left and pulling left until we get a form of government. And you know, the fucked up part about this is we're not asking for wealth. We're not asking, let me sit at home on my ass and get paid. No, we're asking, look, just let us have a fucking job where we can work and earn a living and make you rich. But I want health care. I want to be able to educate my kids. If they can earn the grades, I want them educated. And when I get old, you know, just enough to subsist on, man. I'll plan for the rest. A place to live. That's it. I mean, we're not asking for fucking wealth, man. And they won't do it. They won't. Well, the dickheads in that group, that's too much, man. That is too much. You're selfish. You're selfish. We can't have businesses in America because y'all want those living wages. Why would I pay you a living wage when I can go somewhere else in the world where they're really fucking desperate and I can pay them shit and they'll take it? Man, fuck that noise. And I don't want it just for me. I want it for them too. The people in the world that are really fucking desperate. I want Star Trek, man. I want fucking Star Trek. That's what I want. You know, I want everybody. We all do better when we all do better. I want to take these corporate sons of bitches that are still exploiting Africa, and I want to fucking hang them, man. I do. I do. Actually, you know, that's a misnomer. Star Trek isn't communism. It isn't communism. It isn't. You'll see them. They'll have episodes where they go to different worlds and they have to buy shit with credits. You know, I mean, It's still, there will always be capitalism. There will be. But goddamn, can't we just take care of each other? But man, that's what we're up against, folks. And I'm telling you, there are two choices. There are two parties in this country. One, at its core, are good and decent people that want to do well for you, that wants your life to be okay, that understands this basic fact that if we're doing okay and we're doing good, man, the rich people are going to do fucking fantastic. They are. They always do. When we've got money to spend, we hand it to them for shit that we want. I mean, it goes back to this whole trickle down argument. Trickle down is bullshit. If you want a healthy economy, feed the roots. Don't water the leaves, feed the roots. And everything will flow up. Anyways, didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but with the way this government works and the way these broligarchs have they've crossed the line. They have crossed the line. They're openly corrupt right in front of us. I mean, I know, this war in Iran was because Trump was in trouble over the Epstein files. Trump was in trouble over the economy, the tariffs that were hurting you, making things more difficult for you. And I'll tell you, the only thing that these sons of bitches fear is you getting mad enough for the pitchforks to come out. Luigi Mangione is the only thing that they fucking fear. That's it. That's it. That's the pulse that they're constantly checking. Have we gone so far that these fuckers are going to kill us? Yeah. When people fear their government, you have tyranny. When the government fears their people, you've got liberty. I mean, I know that's some hokey shit, but it's true. It's true. It's true. And it's not just, it's so in your face. Mother Jones has a great article out. I would love for you to go read this article. This is all I do, folks. I sit and I read 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 and I read. This is a fantastic article. It's by Melissa Lewis and Pima Levy over at Mother Jones. Mother Jones does a real journalistic outfit. They really are. Billionaires know just how they want the Supreme Court justices to rule and are spending big time to tell them. And what they're talking about is this is the latest in-your-face corrupt con. And what it is just the cliff notes of it. I want you to go read the article. The cliff notes of it is amicus briefs is the new payola, amicus briefs. There is a limited number of people filing more and more amicus briefs before the court. And the court is taking fewer and fewer cases. So you're concentrating power in these friends of the court that write these briefs for them. And the billionaires have figured out, if I want to influence the Supreme Court, I can bribe them and get in a lot of trouble, or I can shower a fuck ton of money on the people that are writing the amicus briefs for the court over here. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. They can do that. Couple of key takeaways from that article. The number of briefs has risen dramatically in recent years and now routinely tops 800 per term, an eightfold increase since the 1950s and about double the number from 1995. So in the last quarter century, we've gone from 400 briefs per term before the Supreme Court to over 800. This uptick has also coincided with the court reducing its docket by about 35% since 1995. While, okay, are you seeing the math, how the math is working? They're relying more and more on these amicus briefs in less and less cases. And nobody's regulating the people writing the briefs. And it's fewer and fewer people. It's concentrating that power into fewer and fewer people. So the Broligarchs are dumping a shitload of money into the law firms and groups that are writing these amicus briefs. Another key takeaway from the article here: the amount spent on the briefs is likewise reaching new heights. To get a sense of that figure, True North Research, a progressive court watchdog, assembled IRS and FEC data on amicus filers in 25 major cases since 2022, including 2 consolidated cases. After vetting and supplementing their data, our analysis shows that a small number of conservative billionaires and funding networks have funneled 1.3 billion to 3 groups that filed 626 amicus briefs in just these cases. Do the math on that. 626 amicus briefs on 25 cases, and the people that were paid had 1.3 billion with a B. The 3 groups had 1.3 billion with a B funneled into their organizations. And this isn't a crime. Not a crime. They just figured out a different place to pour the bribes in. And they get together in their dialogue group where they think they're the masters of the universe, and they make all the decisions. Okay, this is what we want the Supreme Court to do. The article talks about a ruling in a mining case that got no press coverage, but it is going to allow them to basically pollute. And it goes beyond mining. It affects your ability to sue to stop these people from polluting. And of course, the amicus briefs, yeah. You getting the idea? Are you getting the idea why I keep saying, please get involved locally? Please get involved locally. Inject your beliefs. Inject who you people are. Fucking fantastic people. You are. I read your emails. I read your comments. You know, I meet you when I go out places. I see you. I know you are good and decent people. Those motherfuckers are injecting their beliefs and their wants into the system. I'm telling you how to inject yours. And it works. It works. If you control your local party, you control it all. All politics is local. And you could still do that. Because I'm telling you, if you get together, you're going to be shocked at how small a number of people are getting together in your local Democratic Party to make it all happen. It's a handful of people. Inject your decency. Inject who you are. That's why I keep begging you, please get involved. Please get involved. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yes, there's some fucked up left-leaning names in that list. There are. But it doesn't mean we're going to burn the party to the ground. We're not. Because it's the only party where you still have people in it that actually give a shit about your interests. The Republican Party doesn't give a shit what happened. They don't care. They don't care at all. And if you don't believe me, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. One more, and then we'll go back to some more of the comments. Ice Barbie humiliated in $700 million U-turn fiasco. Do you remember we did the segment about the warehouse in Georgia where the people were freaking out? Flowery Branch, Georgia. I showed you on the map where it is. They bought a warehouse to set up a facility to move thousands of people in. They didn't have the electrical infrastructure. They didn't have the water, and the people in the town are freaking out because like their bills are going to quadruple. You remember that? Do y'all remember that? You long timers, do y'all remember that segment where we talked about it? Yeah, that's one of them. Went away. You did it. You did it. You raising hell was enough that Republicans gave up. They gave up. They're selling those warehouses. Of course, we're losing money. They're selling those warehouses, or they're giving them away to other, DHS is giving them away to other branches of the government to use for other purposes. But they're not going to build those concentration camps in some places. Now, that's the kicker. Well, I keep telling you, I'm not promising you that you'll be able to do something one time and then everything will be okay. No, it's going to be continual work. We're going to have to keep doing this. We are. Just a key takeaway from that Daily Beast is also doing great journalistic work. They are. Read Daily Beast. They don't have paywalls on most of their stuff. Daily Beast is a great source of information, just like Midas Touch is a great source of information. The 7 on the chopping block are in Romulus, Michigan, Roxbury, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, Utah, Social Circle, and Flowery Branch, Georgia, and Hamburg and Tremont, Pennsylvania. All of those concentration camps are now gone. They are not happening. The pressure, you got it done. You got it done. By making noise, making people aware locally, they were getting the shit suit out of them. You did the work, man. You did. I can't say it enough. You did this. When we ran those stories, you went out there, you told everybody about it, you put it all over social media, you told your friends, you told your family. People got pissed off enough to start acting. And you did this. You did this. You got rid of those concentration camps. Are we done? No, we're not done. We are not done. ICE is still pressing ahead with 4 other warehouses in Surprise, Arizona, Hagerstown, Maryland. Pay attention. I'm telling you where the work is still at. Surprise, Arizona, Hagerstown, Maryland, San Antonio, and Socorro, Texas. Though a court has paused work at the Maryland site, the agency also plans to buy detention space from the private prison operators it already pays. Of course they are. We talked about this in the beginning, what this ICE shit was all about. It was these private prison corporations that funnel just ungodly amount of money into the Republican Party. Are going to get paid. Of course they are. Mark Wayne Mullen is running it now. He's used to getting paid. Are your interests represented here? depending on who you talk to, it's either 75 or 85% of these people that they're arresting are not criminals. They're just people in your community working hard. Those are the people they're sticking in these games. They're paying these private prison corporations to house. Are they representing your interests? I mean, those are your customers they're taking away. Those are the employees that are working at your restaurants and your, you know, building your houses and pouring your concrete. And I want to pause for a second. Is it, as more and more of these stories break, is the strategy I'm engaged in and what I'm trying to do becoming more obvious? You know, get involved locally, you know, elect Democrats, even shitty Democrats, elect Democrats, because it's the only party that we can shove this. I mean, is everybody getting the strategy now? What I've been screaming at, because I do, when I go out on social media, I've got to put up with the purists. I got to put up with the people that are screaming back at me that, oh, I'm just a corporatist. I'm just, I'm a shill for the Democratic Party. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. I elect Democrats. What the fuck do you do? Is my response to them. Wait a minute. You're attacking me because I sell my fucking coffee cups and do a show to make a living and elect Democrats. Okay. What the fuck are you doing if you're not electing Democrats? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're attacking the Democratic Party. You're electing Republicans. I had no, 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 no. I have no shame. I'm proud of what I do. I wear this pin proudly. Fuck yeah. I am proud of what I do. But is the strategy not revealing itself to be the correct strategy? I mean, really. I mean, really. This psychopaths. And the Republican Party is just bending over for them. Fortunately, they're incompetent psychopaths. And I got to tell you, these cartoonists that have just been, this is Mike Lukovic. You can follow these people on social media, by the way. It's just nailed it. I reached an agreement with the algae. It will stay and receive $300 billion. The algae turning the reflecting pool green. Well, it's more than that. Uh, you know, I didn't say anything. I've been doing a lot of woodworking. Part of woodworking is learning how to finish things. And when they dumped that concentrated hydrogen peroxide into the pool, I was like, that's not going to work out well. That is not going to work out well. One, it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. But two, do you know what hydrogen peroxide does to paint? But I didn't know the concentration they were using. I didn't want to run my mouth. I didn't want to run my mouth. But I knew it wasn't going to be good. I knew it wasn't going to work, for one thing. But two, I knew it wasn't going to be good. This is what hydrogen peroxide does to paint. Yeah, that's your American flag blue. lifting off the floor of the reflecting pool. Why? Because they're fucking idiots. Everything they do is doomed to fail, whether it be the Iran war or the damn reflecting pool. The paint is peeling off. The $14 million paint job is peeling off the reflecting pool because they dumped 16% hydrogen peroxide into the pool. And nobody thought, maybe we should stir this shit. Maybe we should do the math on what the concentration will be. Maybe we should stir this shit up. Oh no, they just poured over the side and it'll get around. You might as well have poured paint stripper into it. Whew. $14 million paint job gone. So, by the way, now it's $15.5 million now because of all the attempts to deal with the algae and the repairs. Yeah, peroxide don't cost $1 million. It doesn't. I don't know who's getting paid or who's ripping what off, but we're going to have some work to do there too. But look, I don't want to leave you like this. I don't want to leave you looking at these broligarchs and seeing what they're doing behind the scenes and how corrupt our government is. I don't want to leave you feeling hopeless. I don't. I don't. I'm going to read a few of your comments, and then I want you to stick with me. I want you to stick with me. I've got some good stuff to talk about here. One, this just happened. The Barack Obama Presidential Library opened up. Doesn't that look amazing? I want to draw your attention down here. They put in a garden. Do you remember the Michelle Obama garden at the White House? And how Republicans just kept losing their minds about it? They put in the garden. You can garden. You can garden. They put in a playground for kids. You can go garden at the Barack Obama Presidential Library. They did an amazing job. This library is more about the people. I've been to several presidential libraries. I have. Some of them are just hilarious. Hilarious. I remember Mrs. Texas Paul and I were at the Truman Library, and there was a picture where they had a rocker, and they're like, this is the rocker from this event, and they had the picture of the event, and you can see the rocker he's sitting in, and you can see the rocker they're claiming that he was. It's not the same chair. You know, I got eyes, right? You know, I mean, I could see your picture, and I can see that ain't that chair. You know, some of them are hilarious that way. They really are. It's like the story's real and the theme is real, but that's not really you know what I mean? Some of them are like that. This is going to be, I cannot wait to go up and see it. I cannot wait to go up and see it firsthand. I am super excited about that. Stick with me. We're going to read some of your comments and we're going to talk about some good things. ET, it is less than 20 weeks until the general election. Verify your voter registration and deadline dates. Know your early voting dates and get involved. Amen, brother. Well said. Thank you for always bringing that message. David Cantu, I'd like to honor Eugene Ballard, a highly decorated Black American by the French that fought in the trenches and flew combat missions during World War I. Good work, sir. Good work, David. Sherry Ellison, I am thankful beyond words for wheelchair ramps being built. I spent 4 days pinned under my tractor and lost my right leg. Sherry, that is a terrible story. That is horrible to imagine. Mr. Knutson, we all come here for your narrative, Paul, but the interactive comments make us stay. Keep it up and help us turn the USA more social democrat, where the majority prosper and not just the oligarchs. Yep. It's so simple, folks. If everybody does better, everybody does better. Even the rich folks. Mike Daly the Dim. Vance and Theo both claim to be Catholic. I must have missed that quote of Jesus in the Bible saying, I got mine, forget you. Yep. Yep. George Lynon Weber, thank you for supporting the show, sir. Mr. Newts in Texas Paul, a fellow rider and fellow rider dies. What do we do about Elon Musk? SpaceX is a giant balloon sucking up government money and buying up companies with no real income, just borrowing against dreams. If you don't buy us products, the fantasy eventually dies. The worst thing you can do to somebody like Elon Musk is make him poor again. E.T., and yes, the Democrat, not that he's ever been poor. He was born with an emerald spoon in his mouth. And yes, the Democratic Party needs work, but we can't do anything about that unless you get involved, period. Yep. If you don't control shit, you can't fix shit. Julia Simpson, seems like Zelensky does have the cards. Amen. 5-month membership. Salute. The Daily Gripe Podcast. Where can we find the list? We need to share this everywhere. It is, I'm trying to think of her name. Mia. Hold on. I'll show you. 1 second. She is a hacker in Europe. I got it. One second. I will show you where you can go on to Blue Sky. Mia Arson Crime. 1 second. Let me pull it up. Just do a search. And when you do a search, just instead of doing it for Mia Arson Crime, just do a search for this phrase. Here are all 113 alleged members. If you do that search, it will take you directly to the post. You don't have to go through all of her posts. Here, just part this data or part of it. This data can also be verified via versions. If you'll just type in some portion of her caption, it will bring you right in the search bar. It will take you right to it. And here are the complete lists. So yeah. And some more information. Got it? Good question. Thanks for asking. Should have had a link to that already. I appreciate it. Mary Higgins, thank you. Thank you for joining. IDF kills children. What a name. Hello, everyone. Thank you for supporting the show. Netta Dahl, the countries in the EU have begun to say no to U.S. tech. Yep. Marie Crabtree, thank you for always being here. I have never met a perfect person. I am a perfectionist, but I do not expect others to work my way. Yeah. We've got, look, Graham Plattner is a perfect example. Come on, people. Elect the fucking guy. Sure. Did he do some shit that you don't approve of? Yep. When he was a numbskull kid doing his multiple tours in Afghanistan, Graham Plattner can tell you what Fallujah smells like. Did he go get a stupid fucking tattoo with his unit? Yeah, he did. The whole unit went and got him. Yeah, he did. It was fucking stupid. He was an ignorant kid. But you know what? Elect the fucking guy. He's the guy on the ballot. He's a Democrat. If you go to his social media, you listen to what he stands for, you listen to what he's arguing about. He's talking about data centers. He's talking about, actual policy that benefits you, that kind of America first, elect the fucking guy. Is he going to be perfect? No. Is he going to stick his foot in his mouth? Guaranteed. Guarantee he's going to say some stupid shit after we elect him. Guaranteed. Is he better for you than Susan Collins? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Trader hater. Trader 45 hater. Going after government reform, ethics, investment, donor limits by an independent body gets at the roots of oligarch corruption of all leadership. Yep. But we have to do it without souring the brand. We have to do it while getting Democrats elected. We have to. The Republicans are beyond any help. They are. They're just gone. They are sold out. They're not even pretending. They're putting the corruption directly in your face. Rena Scott, the SCOTUS can get away with whatever it wants because it doesn't have to answer to the oversight committee. That needs to change. Yes, it does. And we only do it by winning. Look, we got to take all three branches of government back. That's going to take us at least a decade. At least a decade. Scott's 7907, an interesting history on the rich people's subject, Emperor of Mexico Maximilian, why he was brought in and why he was executed. I love people that like history. Most people don't even know that Mexico had an emperor. Mr. Knudsen, Texas Paul is to tell us we are good and decent people, but no, we are the GOAT. We got power, take it, and kick some oligarch butt. Amen, brother. Amen. Kathy Young, inject your decency and your values into our government. That's what I'm asking you to do. You're good people. Do it. Kathy Young, high school student in Surprise, Arizona, is spearheading the fight against deportation center. Nice. Nice. So many young people out there that are just, and they need our help because they don't know everything. They don't. They need our help. Mr. Knudsen, ban private prisons. I've been there from the beginning. If we're going, as a people, if we're going to take someone's freedoms away, we should damn well be responsible for how that is done. Wendy Bauman, how long have we had private prisons? Decades now. Decades. Chandra Patton, happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. Big salute. Chandra, glad you are here. I cannot think of a better holiday to celebrate. Well, let me show you that. That is one of the best holidays to celebrate. Put it that way. Independence Day, that's a great holiday. My birthday should be a holiday. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I got to say something stupid every once in a while. But yeah, Juneteenth, think about the decency behind it, what it means. I mean, come on. What a great thing to celebrate. Skeet Sayre, they are so out of control, it is endangering the entire planet. The pool is allegory for Trump, just like how the blue paint is responding to the hydrogen peroxide. Yep. Couple more and we're going to get back to work. I want to leave you with some good things. Mr. Knudsen, blue plus piss equals green reflecting pool. Hydrogen peroxide dissolves paint. Google would have prevented this. Now it's going to cost us millions. ET, they dumped your tax dollars into crap and pockets. Yep. Julia Simpson, Texas Paul, what do you think of the Committee for the First Amendment? I've been thinking of joining it. I value your opinion. I don't know enough to speak on it. I don't want to tell you anything I don't know about. I try not to do that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Skeet Sayre, the WC experience is so different in red versus blue cities. Boston partying while in Miami people are put on buses and go through 5 checkpoints. Yep. Man, you need to go. You want to something that makes you feel good. Go to your favorite social media page and Google Scottish soccer fans. There'll be a couple shitty things in there. There always will be. For the most part, it is just people just living their best lives, having a great time. DK Walk, there is more good news to be had. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Paint was not allowed to cure before filling the pool. Coco G85 gifted 5 Texas Palm. Thank you, Coco. I appreciate you. Couple more. DK Walk. There's good news. Just think of the massive employment explosion that is coming once he's gone. Yep. Every time we put Democrats in power, the economy takes off. Bob Farianchik. Welcome, Bob. Mr. Knutson, let's make Paul's birthday holiday. No, man, that's a joke. No, it ain't about me. It's about you. Hopefully we can have ride or die day one time. Marta, Texas Paul, did you see JD interview with the ladies in The View? Those ladies didn't give him an inch. I didn't catch that one. I didn't. I'm going to have to go Google that and watch it. I am going to have to go Google that and watch it. Look, folks, there are good things happening. Let me ask you, do vaccines work? Do vaccines work? Hell, motherfucking yeah, they work. Cervical cancer deaths fall to 0 in young women given HPV vaccines. Amen. A fucking men. Humanity, intelligence, research, focus on doing something for the people. This is what you get. So let me read it to you again. This is out of the UK, where I'm sorry, folks that live here in the United States. We don't have that kind of news here because we have corporate for-profit healthcare and Republicans that all they give a shit about is those profits for those corporations. This is out of the UK where they have universal healthcare. Cervical cancer deaths fall to 0 in young women given HPV vaccine. Tell me that ain't some good news. Tell me that is not a ray of hope. That we can be intelligent and do the right thing and have those kinds of results. Amen. Frickin' men. Amen. James Tallarico is killing it, guys. He is killing it. I promise you there'll be some good stuff. He is killing it. If you don't know what he's talking about here, he's talking about this. Has been absolutely destroying. Wait a minute, wrong one. Wait a minute. This has been absolutely destroying Ken Paxton. Even Cletus can understand this. We're talking about the Adam Hoffman story. There's so much corruption surrounding Ken Paxton. You have to pick a few out that are, even Cletus can understand and hammer away on him. This is, if you don't remember, this piece of shit raped a 9-year-old kid for years. And Ken Paxton tried to give him 1 day in jail. 1 fucking day. The judge said, "Are you out of your freaking mind?" And the best the judge could come up with is 30 days. 30 fucking days is all this guy spent in jail for raping his son's best friend, a 9-year-old kid, a 9-year-old boy, for years. 30 days in jail. Under Ken Paxton here in Texas, this is what Ken Paxton does when he has power. When he has power, this is what the world looks like. And Tallarico he is there for it. He is there for it, saying all the right things.
Right. That's exactly right. Before I was an elected official, I was a public school teacher. I taught 6th grade language arts at Rhodes Middle School in San Antonio on the west side of the city. And as a Texas educator, I was required by law to report any concerning behavior from my students, any indication there was abuse at home. And I would hope that the top law enforcement official in Texas would be held to the same standard as a middle school teacher. Ken Paxton had the opportunity to protect a child, but instead he protected a predator. I find that unconscionable, and I think most Texans do too.
James Tallarico, they're
right.
You protected a Republican. which is what Republicans do. Good, decency, right, the people, children, women. It doesn't matter. They don't give a shit about any of them. They don't give a shit about any of them. They don't give a shit about you. That's why I keep hammering away. That's why I keep hammering away at being ride or die. There's one party left with decency in it. Inject your moral code into that party by getting involved locally. You will enjoy it. My man Cole is out there doing it. He has a degenerative spine disease that puts him in a wheelchair, man. $150,000 injections he has to take just to live. And he's out there getting it done. I'm telling you, he's having the time of his life too. He's having a blast. You will too. I promise you. You'll be frustrated at first. You'll be like, damn, this is all. But once you get in there and get moving and start bringing people in and grow it, you're going to have the time of your lives. I want to leave you with Michelle Obama.
You were unflappable at every turn, always focused, always calm, always looking at the long view. How absurd it is to even imagine that you might have buckled under the pressure even once, lashed out in frustration, lost your temper. How absurd it is to imagine that you might have done anything but make our family and this entire country proud. No, you were too busy. I'm not done, y'all. Not done. So much to say. You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding healthcare, ending a war, ordering the bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe from Ebola, regulating the banks, standing up for marriage equality, listening to science, and comforting an entire nation in the face of unspeakable tragedies. And you did it all with such grace and class and cool that you made the hardest job in the world look like a walk in this beautiful park. You were unflappable.
If you can find it, if you can get back, watch that event yesterday. My beautiful wife DVR'd it for me so I can watch the whole thing. I haven't had a chance to watch the entire thing. But yeah, it will bring you back. It will bring you back to a place where you remember that this country was decent and good, where you didn't look at the president and just feel foulness. It will feed your soul. It will. Go watch it. Go watch it. Today, I want to wrap up with this. This is Juneteenth. Do y'all remember, we talked about this last year in the show. Do y'all remember why Juneteenth is on June 19th, what the significance is. You know, a lot of people know that Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery. June 19th is when Union soldiers, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, rode into Galveston, Texas, and freed the last of the slaves and informed them there was no such thing as slavery anymore. 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, there were still people in my home state of Texas that were owning other people. And it took soldiers riding into Galveston, Texas on June 19th to end it. Decency is not easy. It's not, doesn't happen naturally. It doesn't just happen on its own. Sometimes it has to happen by force. Think about that. Think about what we're celebrating today. We are celebrating goodness. We're celebrating that men and women chose to put their lives on the line to say, no, this is not right. This is not us. This is not who we are or what we do. That's a good thing. This is a good holiday for all of us. For all of us. It's a celebration of who we are. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. We should build this holiday into something much larger than what it is. There are white people out there, Hispanic people out there, Asian people out there that think that this isn't their holiday. The fuck it's not. This is a celebration of goodness and decency, of all of our goodness and decency. Yes, it is the liberation of slaves. True. But if we don't mark the good things about us, if we don't celebrate the good things about us, the things that we do right, are of evolution into better people, we're doomed to repeat history. This is everybody's holiday. This is America becoming a better, more perfect union. Are we done? Fuck no. Fuck no. No, not even close. But yeah, we have our days. We have our days. And this is one of them. So, as weird as it says to say it like this, happy Juneteenth, folks. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.